My first encounter with Dead Fred. My house was built in 1983 to 1985, owned by one man who was a computer mega nerd and worked for Boeing/Skunkworks, and lived there with his girlfriend/wife until 2000 when my parents bought it. I was 5, my brother 6, youngest sister 10, oldest sister 13. 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. My brother and I shared a room. Sisters had their own. Turned last room into computer room. No deaths, no murders in it. My brother and I had a bunk bed. I slept on top. I can't say for certain how long it was before he began to stir, because I was a child and had no concept of time. So let's say 3 months. 3 months had passed after we moved in, and my brother and I during the night would wake up from sounds of heavy footsteps creaking across the attic. Then a shuffling sound, which ended up being the attic textured drywall slab door. Then it would stop. Nothing of it. Kids with wild imaginations. New house, new neighbors, no friends, new babysitter, new preschool, so you just expect a kid to be scared. That was until months later. I wake up early one morning and get ready for the day of play, but something just felt extra scary when I exited the bathroom. Like I'm being watched and should get out of there kind of feeling, but from above. So I ran to my parents' door on the other side of the upstairs hallway, but was too afraid to go into the room, thinking I would get yelled at for waking them up. I remember vaguely coming up with the idea, if something is behind me, I'm at the door and can just run into my parents' room to safety. So I turned around quickly, as if to scare what was giving me a scared feeling. Nothing at first, but then I saw him. A freakishly tall being's head, slightly poking out from around the corner where the bathroom and attic door were. The attic is right above the bathroom door, but it wasn't scary. Not until I ducked back behind the wall. I ran down the hallway to the bathroom. There's no way something was there. I look up and the attic door slides closed. I ran back out towards my parents' room. When I got there, I got another sickening feeling of being watched, but this time from downstairs. I froze before I could get 3 feet from their door. I felt the urge to look again, and this time I saw him. Downstairs in front of the couch in the living room. What can be confirmed now as a 6'7", 6'8" being. Completely black, but also transparent. His facial features only partially there. No eyes, no full mouth or nose, but cheekbones and ears were clear. Long flowing black shirt like cloth. Arms and legs were only the upper halves and malnourished stature. Then Fred decided to do what my family and friends all know him for, scaring the absolute crap out of you. I looked back towards my room, thinking I should run back and hide under my covers, because monsters can't get you if you're under a blanket. Looked back to where he was, not there anymore. Nope. In fact, he was actually on all fours like a spider, climbing up the stairs. I ran to my room, slammed the door, climbed up and hid under my covers. I woke my brother up from my commotion, and I sputter what I think I just called Fred a monster. My brother, I assumed, looked outside, saw something and did the same thing, except he added a scream. About 10 minutes later, my parents come in, tell us that we're grounded from TV for the day. Occurrences like this kept going, and we eventually lost the TV from our room completely until I turned 10. Little did my parents know, my sisters gave us her old Minnie Mouse TV. It had a VHS player, and I missed that thing, hiding it in the closet under the clothes that were completely suspicious. Anyways, that was my first actual encounter with whom is now known as Dead Fred, and it still is engraved with grueling detail in my brain forever. Just a little FYI, my parents did believe us. They always did. It's a crazy active entity. Around 2010, we all came to the agreement it was a haunted house and almost everyone has seen it. I had friends that were non-believers turn to believers. There were too many encounters to count. Scratches, bruises, seeing him, doors opening/closing, things moving, footsteps, bangs that shook the rooms but not the house, and weird dreams. Also, feeding off the dying. My dad died September 6, 2020. A medium told my wife and I that the entity enjoyed every bit of pain we fed him, not even knowing it was feeding him. That it also fed off my grandma, who died of cancer in 2006. We were told a chilling, "He's smiling about it," from the medium. This entity is evil.
In the ending of 2018, my sister, her husband, 3 kids, and 2 dogs moved into our house on top of my wife and 2 dogs, while expensive repairs were being made on their house after heavy rain caused their house to unsettle. That ended up taking over a year. The 1980 built 2 previous owner house is the house me and my family grew up in, so my sister knew of something else already living there before any of us. The only known deaths are of my grandmother in 2006 and my father. They both died of cancer, but the lands are haunted and cursed by natives. Out of all the experiences, these were the most terrifying. 3 weeks after they moved in, we began to get uneasy feelings around the den fireplace room, and out of nowhere all the dogs would freak out and bark and run in circles, hairs on end, teeth shown, defensive posture all at one corner of the room. Keep in mind I have a Doberman and Golden Lab. My sister has a Labradoodle and English Mastiff, but then, while it all seemed to walk to the back sliding glass door and exit, because the dogs would just start whining and whimpering, tails between their legs, almost every time as well. My sister's 2-year-old twins ran in the room and both stared at it. 2 months go by. They start to talk to something while they eat during the day. Around nap time, 12 to 1, sometimes they would play with it. 5 months go by, it gets worse. I begin seeing the entity go around their room and then run away. A week passes, my sister's eldest son, who is about 5, starts talking to someone. Another week passes. He's now more vocal towards it, and we take extra notice. We ask, "Cam, who are you talking to?" He says he's talking to his friend. While we are talking, he keeps looking past my right shoulder, where I keep feeling cold, but my focus is on him, and I ask what he's looking at. My friend, Fred. Apparently the entity knew we were calling it Fred since 2002. I asked what he looked like. He replied, "Kinda scary, but not really." He looks like a basketball player. Tall, no hair, and a big black shirt, but I cannot see his face. As one would expect, my eyes widened in horror, and all I replied with was, "Oh." Cam replies, he says to just go with the flow. No one in my family ever said that. Next, I had a priest come in to bless the house, which pissed it off. The day after that, a loud slap could be heard from downstairs, followed by loud 2-year-olds screaming. A welt handprint on her back. Then, almost every other day like clockwork, 3 a.m. rolled around. You can hear footsteps. Then kids would scream bloody murder, saying go away, crying for their mom. Their Labradoodle dog, Bear, would also whine and bark scared. No marks on the kids though. Then one night, I had off and really wanted to see what was happening while they were so afraid. What caused them to scream, what was walking. I stayed up to 3 a.m. I was downstairs and waiting. 3:37 came around. I feel immense and extreme anxiety, as well as just freezing cold. I'm nowhere near a vent, and the only fan we had was upstairs. Then a sense of dread. The cold goes away. As if my eyes weren't mine, I just watched the thing go upstairs, stop at the hallway, look at me, then walk into their room. I heard the footsteps, I saw the entity, but I couldn't physically see it. It was like a mental image. And of course the kids bursted into tears. I go and puke from pure fear, go into an anxiety attack and pass out in the bathroom. Didn't have a nightmare, but my sister had 3 scratches on her back. And the kids were saying the monster did it. After that, they said fuck it and moved with their husband's brother. And I'm still here, chocked full of experiences. Stay safe and don't piss off any random entities.